Hey everyone, and welcome to Tactical Marriage TV. Today we have a very special episode with a very special guest, and I'm going to get to him very soon. But hold on that. Let me explain how this episode's going to go. So we decided to do a video on a player-by-player comparison of a U23 level for the US men's national team in Germany. And the purpose of this is to see who has more potential for the 2026 World Cup. And we're going to do each position will count as 1 point. We're going to have my score and my guest's score, which I'm going to tell you who he is very soon. And for U23, this means the player was born in 1997 or after. Okay, so if he was born in 1996 or before that, he did not make the cut. We're also going to go for 4-2-3-1 formation for the purpose of this video. With all that said, my special guest is Fiago from FootyBase on Instagram and Twitter. Go check out his Instagram account. It is brilliant. It's a beautiful Instagram account and a great YouTube channel. If you need European and world soccer content, Fiago got your back. He's also German, Swiss, and Italian. So he lives in Germany. So he's the perfect guy to talk about this. And he's going to be in future videos as well. So make sure you guys hit the like button for Fiago and subscribe to his channel. The link is on the description. And subscribe to our channel. And make sure to hit that notification bell as it truly helps the channel. And a big thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring Tactical Marriage TV at the month of May. A big thank you to them. This is the perfect soccer app you can follow with news, updates, highlights, match trackers, stats. So I use it myself. You guys should do it as well. And I'm putting the link down on the description for a free download on your Android or iPhone. Or if you still have a Nokia. No, actually, who has a Nokia? It's free. It's as free as hitting the like button. So make sure to do both right now and the notification bell. OneFootball, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for sponsoring the channel at the month of May. And again, I'm not selling you anything. This is absolutely free. Go check out the app. You'll be helping us from Tactical Marriage TV very much. I truly appreciate it. So now, let's roll the intro and the episode. All right, Fiago, we're going to start today with the U23 player-by-player comparison of USA and Germany. First, welcome back to the channel. If many of you don't know, Fiago has been here before.
I have.
And Fiago, a few years ago, if we did it 10 years ago, this video honestly would have been a meme if we did it 10 years ago, because it would just have been 11-0 to Germany. With all that said, I'm going to let you start, okay? We're going to do position by position. And for goalkeeper for Germany, who did you pick U23 and why?
I picked Müller, not Thomas Müller, but Florian Müller. He has actually pretty much broken out this season. He's on loan from Mainz, which is pretty weird since Freiburg are better than Mainz, but he's Freiburg's starting goalie this season. And yeah, he's really solid. Freiburg are securing a mid-table finish, and he plays an important role in that. So I picked him, pretty much our best goalie in that age range, yeah.
All right, for the United States, I picked David Ochoa. David Ochoa plays for Real Salt Lake in the MLS. He just started this season to actually become a regular starter. Right now, they just recently started. Prior to that, he only played one game. He did well in the Olympic qualifiers, despite one very silly mistake that kind of cost the USA the qualifiers.
Oh, really?
But yeah, against Honduras. He's very good with his feet, in my opinion. Very good shot stopper. Does have a bad temper, I would say. I like it. I like the little spice he brings in. Some people don't like his bad temper. I think his potential is very high. And like I said before we started this segment, we're doing it based on potential and how these players will look in 2026. So based off potential to 2026, who would you go with here?
I'm going to be honest. I don't really rate Müller this high. I don't think he's going to become the next Neuer or anything. But I still think that in this battle, I think he will become better than Ochoa. Because I haven't really watched Ochoa play, but from what you told me, he's not like the top goalie, probably one of the weakest positions in your team, right?
From the US men's national team, we do have a question mark there. Zach Steffen is the lock-in starter.
Yeah. I have to say in this one, right? In this U23 team. Yeah, so I'm going to give my point to Müller.
So I'll do this. Müller right now is way better than David Ochoa, more experience. When it comes to potential to 2026, we do often even say here in the US that Ochoa could have a chance of starting over Steffen if he continues to develop. Yeah, his potential is very high, and I like his temper. I like that heated temper, that kind of like Latino, South American temper, Central America.
Okay.
I'm actually going to go with Ochoa here for potential.
Okay.
We're going to go. So for Fiago, it's 1-0 Germany. For Filippo, it's 1-0 US right now.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you went with Ochoa. Okay.
For potential, right now, Müller is better.
Yeah. Ochoa is also
Now,
a few years younger, right?
yeah, Ochoa is 19.
Yeah, he's a couple years younger. Yeah. So why not? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So now right back. Right back. I'll go first on right back for the USA, and then I'll let you go for Germany.
Go ahead.
For right back, I pick no one less than Serginho Dest from Barcelona. He just hit age 20, starting for Barcelona, extremely technical, came out of Ajax, does have defensive issues, does have that, I'm not going to lie, but I think they can be very well fixed. Who do you pick for Germany?
I went with Riedle Baku. Pretty much one of the breakout stars of this Bundesliga season 2. Plays for Wolfsburg. They will probably secure a top 4 Champions League finish too. And he also made his senior national team debut for Joachim Löw. This season, right back, right winger, right wing back, right midfield. He can play it all. Probably very versatile. Can do very quick, very good passes. And defensively, I would say a bit better than Dest. But overall, if I can already give my rating, I'm going to give it to Dest, obviously. He's 3 years younger. By 2026, he might be one of the best right backs in the world, maybe the best right back in the world. So I think I do rate Baku very highly, but I think that is a clear one. Serginho Dest is clear for me. So I'm going to give my point to you guys.
I don't have to say anything. You said all the reasons pretty much for Serginho Dest as well. I agree. By 2026, we expect Dest to be better than Baku. That doesn't mean he's a bad player. It's just we're rating Dest's potential higher. We're going to go with this. So for me right now, it's 2-0 USA. This sounds terrible. This sounds like I'm being biased.
Nah.
And then cool. For you, it's 1-1.
For me, it's 1-1, yeah. And then we're just going to add up the points later? Or are we just going to have 2 winners then, maybe?
We'll have 2 different ones. We'll have yours and mine. And let's see if maybe throughout the video we can change each other's minds.
Okay.
Right now, I think your picks were fair and mine as well, so there's nothing to change.
Cool. Okay. So what position next?
Left back. And want to tell me your German one?
Left back. I went with a player from my own favorite team, actually, Joscha Wagnermann. He is, don't let me lie, I think he's 20 or 21. I'm not 100% sure right now. But born in 2000. Made his Bundesliga debut already at 17 or 18. So I think 17. Starting for Hamburg, sadly, only in Bundesliga 2. He is a solid player. I love him, but I think your player has a bit more to offer, to be honest. He's, by the way, a bit on the player. He's quick. He is that guy who covers the whole pitch, makes the crosses, and that's probably his biggest strength, making crosses. And he's good in that. But now tell me about your player. I think it's a bit of a different player style, right?
Yeah, mine was Anthony Robinson from Fulham. Anthony Robinson is very pacey, a lot of pace, very speedy. He's good on offense, even for the Premier League standards. He does fairly well on offense. Could do better. On defense, though, it just bothers me so much. Always caught off position, late to the tackle. He tries to overcompensate it with his athleticism, but sometimes it just becomes very sloppy. So yeah, right now I'm not gonna lie. I've never watched your player play because I haven't seen Hamburg in a while, and I don't watch Bundesliga 2 very often.
Watch him play.
I obviously would rate Robinson better now. He's playing the Premier League. But potential wise, who do you think has more? This one I'll give you to decide because I don't know the other player.
To be honest with you, I'm a bit disappointed with how Wagnermann has been playing lately, and I rated him a lot like a year ago, up until a year ago, but now it's just, you have to watch our team. They're just embarrassing. They're just pathetic. It could happen that if Wagnermann leaves Hamburg and goes to a Bundesliga team, which he will probably do this summer, he will probably play in the Bundesliga next year. If it's us or another team, I don't know. Then he could thrive. But for now, I don't see how he's going to be better than someone who already plays in the Premier League at his age, where he's playing in the second tier in Germany. So I think I'm going to give the point to you guys again. Even though it hurts, but I'm going to give it to you.
2-1. So, okay, for Thiago, it's 2-1 USA, and for me, it's 3-0 USA. This one, I left it to you because I didn't know the other player. So, Thiago, now we're going to go to the left center back, the center back position on the left side. I'll start with mine.
Yeah.
My player is Mark McKenzie. I know you're not too familiar with him, and I can't blame you for that.
Not really. Yeah, you told me about him.
Yeah, he played in the MLS for Philadelphia Union. They won the Supporter Shield, which is like the league point system. He, in my opinion, was the best defender in MLS last season. Even though he wasn't voted the best one, I thought he was the best one. He made a move to Genk. He's struggling in and out of the lineup with Genk, but he's young. He's 21, just arrived mid-season. Maybe next season he'll play. I rate him very highly. I like Mark McKenzie a lot, but let me hear a little bit about your player.
Okay, yeah, your player is really interesting. When he plays for Genk, they have a good youth system, so that says a lot. But my player is Bella Kotchap. I don't know if you have ever heard of him. He's a real newcomer. He's younger than me, 2 months younger than me. I think he's 19, born in 2001. And he also plays in the second tier in the Bundesliga too for Bochum. They are currently topping the table. He is he's a key player for them. Started almost every game, I think almost every single game. And they will get promoted next season. And yeah, I rate him really highly. He already has a market value of like 5 million at 18. He had it. So and he was already chased by the likes of Manchester United, Manchester City, and Chelsea last year. I think I heard some rumors. So he is probably our biggest defensive hope of Germany. And yeah, he's really he's solid. You think he's like 27, but in reality he's 19. He's he barely makes mistakes. He is already really mature for his age. Crazy challenges he makes without getting a lot of cards. So I rate him very highly. Yeah, that is what I think. So I know we haven't really watched each other's players play here in that position, but I think I'm going to go with Bella Kotchap here because I really think he can become world class in the future.
I'm going with Bella Kotchap as well, though. I watched him play once when I watched Julian Green play for Firth against Bochum.
Ah, yeah.
So okay. I didn't really keep an eye on him, but throughout the game I noticed, and then I looked up after you gave me the name. I looked up to remember who he was. He reminded me. I didn't know he was that young. He's very well composed. He's technical, very technical, very athletic as well. I liked him, and now that I found out that he was only 19, it was somewhat of a surprise to me. I love Mark McKenzie, but I think when it comes to potential for 2026, he looks better. So point Germany for me as well.
Nice, cool. Yeah. Okay, so that is 3-1.
3-1 for me, and for you it's 2-2.
It's 2-2. Okay. So now the second center back. Who did you go with?
So I went with someone you're probably very, very familiar with, which is Chris Richards from Hoffenheim. Yeah. Used to play for Bayern. Well, didn't play too much for Bayern. Was center back, good in the air, fast. I like Chris Richards. I think potential for 2026 is very high. Who did you pick?
Definitely, and he has also played almost every single game for Hoffenheim since he came there on loan, right? Yeah, I think that's really, really impressive. I went with Schlotterbeck. There are two Schlotterbeck twins, actually, both center backs in the Bundesliga. I went with the younger one, Nico Schlotterbeck. He's 21. His older brother is 23, so he could also be in that team. But I went with the younger one. He plays for Union Berlin right now, but on loan from Freiburg, where his brother plays. And he's also pretty much, a really, really key player there. They are on the verge of qualifying for European competitions next season. So he plays for a similar team then as Richards, actually, in terms of quality in the Bundesliga, same league, similar quality. So I think it's really hard to pick here. He's, I think, 1 year older than Richards. Something about the player himself, I always forget to mention that. He is do you know Matthias Ginter?
Matthias who?
Matthias Ginter.
Ginter, yeah.
The World Cup winner and from Gladbach. He's very similar to him. Not the player not a shiny, flashy player you will buy a jersey from, but he's always there, delivers, very, very also well composed. I think he is not getting as much hype as Bella Kotchap because he's not as young anymore and not as athletic, rather the tall, strong guy. But I think he's really, really he has a really high ceiling. So I think this one is hard for me, to be honest.
Do you want me to pick?
I'm gonna let you, but I think you will pick Richards, right?
I would pick Richards. A few things, and the reason is we all know Bayern, biggest German club, no questions asked. Debatably the biggest club in the world, if not a top 3 up there. They don't let him go. They didn't want to sell him. They believe in his potential, and if I think he has the potential to be a Bayern center back one day, if Bayern believes that, who am I to not believe it, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's the reason I would go with Richards. They're obviously two fantastic players, but the thing is, that's what brings it up to me. If Bayern truly believes he can be a center back for them, the potential is pretty damn high.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I'm going with Richards.
I'm going to agree with you. Yeah, I'm also going my point to Chris Richards then. Yeah.
So for you, it's 3-2 USA. For me, it's 4-1. And just one thing to point out to the viewers right now. Look, we're doing this on paper. So if they played each other, it's a completely different story. So let's say the United States wins this by, I don't know, by a lot. If they play each other, 1, it's not going to be easy. And 2, the US could very easily lose. It's how the team plays together. So
Yeah.
we're doing a player-by-player comparison. This does not mean the team's better. It just means that those players have maybe more potential to be individually better.
Individual quality, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now we're getting to the holding midfielder position, the 6, the marking midfielder. I'm going to go with mine first. These are players that I believe we're both very familiar with. For the United States, I went with Tyler Adams from RB Leipzig. Very good on defense, very good at pressing games. He can play as a right wing back. He can play as a central midfielder, holding midfielder, versatile, dynamic, good at passings. Nothing too crazy on offense. He's not really creative, nothing too crazy, but fairly technical. I love Tyler Adams. And you went with the player from a team. Look, you're going to teach me 2 things right now. How to say his name and his club's name, because people pick on me the channel.
So I was actually not sure who I'm going to go with here, because I have pretty much 2. My holding midfielder is rather the other one. But on that position where we picked it, I have Florian Neuhaus. So I'm gonna choose Florian Neuhaus first. So his name is Florian Neuhaus, and his team is Borussia Mönchengladbach. And that is, yeah, it's a bit hard. It's pretty hard. That is also my local team. So I've watched him play a lot of times also in the stadium itself. And, he was always a player. He broke into Gladbach starting 11 in last season. He really became a key player for them. And this season, same thing, actually. He had a little dip now this season. In the second half of the season, had a little dip. But actually, he's a player, like, he can do anything but finishing and shooting. Actually, he's a very, very technical player, not really physical. He makes insane final passes, long passes, and has great vision. So he's not really similar to Tyler Adams. Absolutely not. Really, really different. So I think it's difficult to compare. But we can just compare on who is going to be more like, who's going to be an overall better player and overall more significant to their respective teams, maybe.
You want me to take that weight off your shoulders?
You can do it, yeah.
Yeah. How do I properly say his name again so I don't get it wrong?
Florian Neuhaus.
Neuhaus. So I actually, everyone's going to hate me in the channel here for this, but I give it point to Neuhaus.
Okay.
I've watched him play there at Gladbach. Hopefully I said that right. He's more technical than Tyler Adams, better distributor as well, playing for the German national team. Tyler Adams does have some differences towards his game that make him better than Neuhaus at times. Tyler Adams is more versatile per se.
For sure.
And I think Tyler Adams, I would give Tyler Adams some more credit on defense, even though Neuhaus is not bad on defense by any means. But when it comes to distributing the game, controlling the tempo, I think he's a much better player. And he's linked to Liverpool.
He is. He's a lot of clubs, yeah. Liverpool,
he's linked to Liverpool.
Yeah. I think he will get a move this summer, and then he's going to be on a whole different level in terms of how people rate him, I think. So I will also give my point to Neuhaus here, even though I think Tyler Adams is 2 years younger, I think. So I think by 2026, it can become a lot closer, but I still think Neuhaus is a slight step ahead. So yeah.
Yeah, but you see, from when it comes to Tyler Adams, and man, I hope people don't hate me in the channel for this, because I'm a big Tyler Adams fan, and they know that. But the thing with Tyler Adams is, I think when it comes to technical positioning, I think he's up there already. I don't think he's gonna make any big jump. I think there's a few aspects of his game that he'll improve, but I think he made such a big jump this season. He is pretty much a lock-in starter for Leipzig at this point, whether it is in the right wing or the holding midfielder. And now that Jesse Marsch arrived, I don't know if you know about this, but Jesse Marsch developed Tyler Adams at the New York Red Bulls, so he's probably going to be. He's going to be a lock-in starter for Leipzig.
They will have
this is just terrible because these two players are up here. But I'm going to go with Neuhaus for this one.
It's a really tough one, yeah. So you think Tyler Adams doesn't have a lot for him to improve anymore? Is that what you meant?
I think he can. He's still going to improve, but you see, his mentality is already up there. He's going to gain more experience, but he's already consistent. His short passing game is very good. His defense is good. His work rate is good. I don't think he's going to become a creative player because that's just not him. Long shots, that's also not his play. I don't think he's going to improve. Free kicks, set pieces, he's not really a tall player. So headers, I don't think that's going to be something that I don't know where else he can improve besides maybe even though like his positioning is fine as well. He's super versatile and he does well wherever he plays. I don't know where else he can make a big jump. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think he can become similar to Joshua Kimmich?
No.
In terms of, you don't think so? He can be on that level?
No, I don't think so.
I don't too. But I think he can become like the smaller version of Kimmich.
He
in
could.
terms of his role.
I'll tell you this: for 2026, if he's healthy, he will be vital for the U.S. men's national team.
Definitely.
He'll be vital. He's vital for any team he goes to. He's the type of player every coach loves. And I love him, but I'm giving it to. I can't give it to him on this one. He just got a tough matchup.
You were going to pronounce Neuhaus, right? But you didn't want to pronounce it.
I was going to, and I'm like, wait, I forgot, and then like, no, I'm skipping that. So,
okay,
I'm gonna forget it. It's too many names to remember. But let's go to the central midfield position, the 8. And then this one here, I'll start with mine, and I put in Weston McKennie, for Juventus. A player that covers a lot of ground, dynamic. He is creative on his goal scoring. He's a goal scoring threat. He's the player in Juventus, I believe, that scored the most goals in the midfield position this season. He's dealing with a hip injury. So his performance did go down.
Yeah, that took him out a bit. Yeah,
but we saw what he can do. He's brilliant. One of the best. I'm not going to say top 5 or anything, but easily a top 15, the top 20 box-to-box midfielders in the world. I think the best one for the U.S. for sure. Starting for Juventus, Pirlo likes him. Good on defense if you need him, and honestly, he can even play a little more deep if you need him on defense. So
he can. He did at Schalke. Yeah, Schalke, he did. Yeah. Yeah,
for Schalke. So I'm going with Weston for the U.S. men's national team. And your pick for Germany?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I'm going to pick. I picked Dennis Geiger. He plays for Hoffenheim. Is like 21. He broke onto the scene at like 18, so a couple of years ago. He was a really serious talent, but now last couple of years he had a few injuries. Now he had a big surgery this season that kept him out for the majority of the season. But actually I would say he's very similar to McKennie. Box to box, very, very covers a lot of ground. Like he runs like a machine, like an engine. Makes a lot of interceptions, clearances. But also can contribute a bit offensively. He's similar to McKennie, a bit more defensive, I think. But so I think it's easier to compare those since they are very similar player types, and so it's also easier for me to say McKennie is a level ahead. Yeah, I have to say this. He made such a big move from Schalke to Juventus. I think I wasn't really sure if he could perform up to that level to make this big of a step last season, but he did, and he really stepped up his game. I think he really took his game onto another level. So clearly McKennie for me. Yeah,
I'm going with the same as you. You said everything I wanted to say right now. Yeah, and also Geiger. I watch Hoffenheim ever since Richards. I don't see him play very often. I think
he's injured. He's injured.
Yeah,
he's been injured for like half a year or so. So yeah.
So let's go with this now. For me, it's 5-2 USA. For Thiago, it's 4-3 USA. And again, guys, this does not mean the US would beat Germany. This is an individual analysis, individual players. This is the interesting one now, Thiago. We got an interesting one now. All right, guys, this is probably one of the best ones of the episode here. Attacking midfielder. I need to say it before. We're going with a 4-2-3-1 formation. I probably said it before in the video. So attacking midfielder for Borussia Dortmund, Giovanni Reina. For the U.S. men's national team, I'm going to Giovanni Reina from Borussia Dortmund. I pulled up some of his stats here. He has 5 goals and 8 assists this season. He's having ups and downs, obviously, because he's very young. It's his actually first full professional season. But fantastic player for Gio Reyna. I talk about him a lot on the channel, so I'm not going to expand too much on it. I'm going to let you talk about yours.
Yeah, my player is Florian Wirtz, plays for Leverkusen, and it's also his first professional season. He broke into the scene last, I think, like February, March 2020, so pretty much before or after the lockdown, football stopped. And there he really started to become a breakout star for Leverkusen. This season, he's a starter. He has scored like, I think, 6 goals and 7 assists in the Bundesliga this season for Leverkusen, something like that. So he is really crucial. And he's only, I don't know if he has already turned 18, but he's born in
17.
Did he turn 18? Yeah,
he's 17.
17. I just know he's born in 2003. Might be summer or spring. I don't know. But he's born in 2003. So that is pretty much crazy. Giovanni Reina is born in 2002, right?
Yeah, Reina's 18 already. I believe he turned 19 or turning 19.
Yeah, so they are similar age. Wirtz is a bit younger. And Wirtz isn't as quick and doesn't really have the agility that Reina has. But I think he's a bit more technical. He's pretty much Leverkusen's Kai Havertz successor. And to be completely honest with you, I think he has a higher ceiling than Kai Havertz. Because what Wirtz is putting up right now at 17, Havertz didn't do at 17. So I think I rate him a lot. And I also rate Reina a lot. But this is tough. This is really tough.
I know. And look at this, Thiago. Let me point some stats for you. So they're both pretty much the same age. They're both in their first professional season. Reina has 5 goals and 8 assists this season. Wirtz has 7 goals and 8 assists. So even the stats are super similar. It's honestly, the viewers of the channel might hate this, but potential-wise, this is a tie.
Can we do ties? Are there ties?
Technically, no. I've never done ties. We need to pick someone.
Okay.
You know, since I picked, let's just do this. Since it's pretty much a tie, let's just go with our countries. I'll go with USA. You go with Germany.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Germany. You're gonna go with the US. Then that's fair.
Yeah,
it's cool.
So it's 4-4 for you now, and for me, geez, 6-2 for me. You know why it's 6-2 right now? I'm trying to get to 7 so I can get my revenge from 2014 with Germany. Brazil.
That makes sense.
But I'm about to lose this one though. Okay, so I went with Gio Reyna. He went with Wirtz, but honestly, I'm saying a tie there. I can't.
Really exciting one to watch out for the next years.
Now, right wing.
Right wing. Yeah.
I'll start with mine. I'm going with Timothy Weah. Timothy Weah had ups and downs throughout his career, injuries too, but he's healthy this season with Lille. Coming off the bench quite a bit as a super sub and being very effective off the bench. Sometimes he starts, can play as a right winger, can also play as a striker, as a center forward at times. Yep. I like Tim Weah. I like him quite a bit. I rate him very highly. Who's your pick for the right wing?
My pick is, we should all know him, Kai Havertz from Chelsea, who has had a fairly difficult season. We all know that, alongside Werner. They haven't really settled that well at Chelsea yet. But I think you have to consider he's 21, he's 22 this season. So I think the second season at Chelsea will really determine the future of his career pretty much. And I have hope that Tuchel can still get the most out of him, because we all know that he is a really good player. Probably you have watched him, right?
A lot.
Yeah. So Kai Havertz, I don't really have to say a lot about him, I think. But best as a similar role to Bruno Fernandes, I think. Best as a deep-lying number 9, something between fails 9 and attacking midfielder. So he has to drive into the box and also finishes. So that is his role. And I think I put him as a right winger because he can also play right winger, and I didn't really have another right winger there. So excuse me for that, but I think it's cool. I think I'm going to go with Havertz here. I do rate Timothy Weah a lot. If Lille sign you, that is a good sign, because Lille sporting director, it was Luis Campos, right? That guy, he made 6 signings. I think he's called like that. He left now, but he signed Timothy Weah, and that is always a great sign. So he has a higher ceiling too, but I'm still going to go with Havertz.
Me too. I'm going with Kai Havertz. I think Timothy Weah will be a great player. He already is a good player. He'll be a great player. But when we're talking about potential, Kai Havertz's potential is world class. That's his potential.
Yeah.
I don't think Tim Weah will be world class ever. I think he can be an extremely good player, maybe a lock-in starter for the U.S. men's national team, maybe play for one of the top clubs in the world. But Kai Havertz he might never reach it, but Kai Havertz's potential is to be world class. That's what we expect from him. Yeah. So I'm going with Kai as well. So it's 6-3 for the United States for me. It's 5-4 Germany for Thiago.
It's 5 for Germany. Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Now we've reached. This is another interesting one. This is another interesting one.
Are we doing the striker one or the left winger one first?
Left wing. Go with yours first. Left wing.
Okay, so I went with Jamal Musiala. Just switched from England to German nationality. He played for the English U21. Now he made his professional senior debut for Germany. He just turned 18 too, and pretty much became a star or a rising star this season for Bayern. Mostly coming off the bench as a sub, but now he's also made some starter appearances. And he's surprised everyone. His biggest main strength is definitely his dribbling, because I think his dribbling might even be the best in the whole Bundesliga already. But of course, he has to improve in a lot of other areas. He still has the physicality of a young boy. Obviously, he needs to improve on that. He needs to improve on his understanding of the game, his vision. But I think, have you ever seen him dribble? I think it's amazing. It's crazy. I don't know if that's just me, but I think Musiala's ceiling is insanely high and might even be the guy with the highest potential in this Germany side. I don't know if I'm just a fanboy, but I rate him a lot. I think he's got a higher potential than Havertz, maybe higher than Wirtz. But now your player is, of course, the main man, right? So it's going to be hard to beat him.
Yeah, so I hate this one. It would have been a lot easier if we just went with the comparison of who's better now. If we went with who's better now, I would just go Christian Pulisic. I wouldn't even think about it. As good as Musiala is. But when we're talking about potential, it's anyone's guess. These are two players that have the potential to be world-class. I don't think Pulisic is world-class right now, even though you will.
You don't think so?
No, right now, no. Right now, no. Because I think to be world-class, you do need to show consistency as well. And he's constantly injured in and out. Is he talent-wise world-class? Yeah, talent-wise, yeah. But he needs to be healthy a full season at least. Can't be in and out all the time. Look, right now, Pulisic for sure. Now, potential-wise, it's kind of like it's one of those that it's a tie again. It's one of those that potential, who knows?
Yeah, it's one of those that, potential, who knows? You're right. But I think if we really say we can't really, it's a tie based off potential, then probably we should go of who's better right now. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, because we know Pulisic can have already an impact in a Champions League semifinal, in a Premier League, and Musiala, he's in and out of Bayern. He showed sparks of talent many times during the season, but we haven't seen that consistency yet. So yeah, I would agree with that in Pulisic, but I wouldn't be surprised if in maybe 2 years we come back and we say otherwise. Musiala might be better now, but right now, we have to go with Pulisic. And at 22, he's the best player in the US team right now. So
that is already impressive. People always forget he's 22 because he's been at Dortmund since 2016. I think he made his professional debut, and that was when he was 16 or 17. So yeah, crazy.
And now, so it's 7-3 United States for me, and 5-5 for you. You're gonna have a tiebreaker right now.
I'm gonna have a tiebreaker.
Look, I got to 7 points already, so that's one for 2014.
Man, okay, you got your revenge now.
We take what we can get. So center forward.
My center forward. Can I start? Okay, my center forward is Youssoufa Moukoko. Do you know him?
Very well.
Okay, so he is still 16. He only turned 16 last November, so he's crazy young. He got he even got the Bundesliga rule changed so he could start earlier for Dortmund. He made his debut a few days after turning 16. Ever since, I think he's played like 10 games or something for Dortmund. Already scored 3 or 4 goals. Sorry?
He got a few goals. I know. I've seen 2 at least.
Yeah. So many people don't believe that he's really that young. I do believe it, but the numbers he put up at youth level are he always. I think at 13 he played in the Dortmund's U19 and scored like 40 goals in the season or so. So he has everything that a striker needs. Any skill that you need as a striker, pace, finishing, deadly finishing, the vision, the positioning. He has it all, but of course he's a raw diamond. Like, he's only 16, but we are rating of potential here. Say by 2026 he's going to be 21, which is still incredibly young. But I think by then he could start for the senior team, since we have a problem up front. We don't have a real deadly striker. We have Timo Werner, but he doesn't really. He's Timo Werner.
He forgot how to finish.
He forgot how to finish, and this guy could really solve our problem. He might play in a double strike partnership with Werner. That might be a thing, but I think it's going to be really early when we will see him in the senior team, because we have a void there at Germany. We don't really have a top striker right now. So I think this is also his chance, and I think Moukoko, I think I'm going to go with him regardless of who you're going to pick.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Josh Sargent from Werder Bremen. He's our starting center forward for the senior squad, and if it was U23, he would start as well. But look, I can talk about Josh. I think he's very underrated. I think he's very good. I think Werder Bremen doesn't help him very much, and he probably will leave. They might even get relegated. They're down there. That can happen.
Yeah.
But no, I'm giving to Moukoko as well. This is his potential wise. Look, there's 2 sides of this right now. So maybe by 2026, Josh Sargent will still be better than Moukoko because he'll only be 21 and Sargent will be around 27. So maybe Sargent will be better than Moukoko at 2026. Career-wise, if I had to bet my money on it, Moukoko's ceiling is much higher. His ceiling is world-class. I don't think Josh Sargent will ever be world-class. He can just be a very, very good center forward, probably start for the U.S., but I don't think he can be world-class. So I would go with Moukoko here as well, very easily for potential. I would pick Moukoko.
Yeah, I agree with that. You think Josh Sargent, by the way, you think he's underrated?
I think he's a little underrated. I think he doesn't get as much credit as he gets because he's being played a lot very often. I see him playing the U.S. Men's National. I see him playing Werder. And he's being played a little off position at times at Werder Bremen. I don't think he has anyone to connect it with as well. By no means I think he's an elite striker. I don't think that. I think that in a proper system, and I often say this, if you put him for Bamford at Leeds United, I think he could have done as well, for example.
For the system. That's an interesting one. Because I've had a lot of discussions about Josh Sargent with my buddies, because I have a few buddies who actually support Werder Bremen, and they are our rival teams. I don't really like them. And I always say, I have to be honest with you, I don't rate Josh Sargent a lot. I always tell them, they tell me Josh Sargent can be world-class, and I always say he will never be world-class. But I agree with you, he can become a good striker, a starting striker maybe in a team like Leeds United, West Ham, Aston Villa, that level, mid-table Premier League side. I think he can become a starting striker. Werder Bremen surely doesn't help him, and he should leave. But yeah, I also don't think that he's going to be world-class.
No, I agree with you. World-class, no. But apparently from what you're saying, the Werder Bremen fans like him a lot.
They rate him a lot. Yeah, I argue with them all the time about that.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. All right, so the final score, Thiago. The final score for me was 7-4 the United States. For you was 6-5 to Germany. I think what I can conclude from this, because at the end of the day, these scores don't matter when a game happens. I think the only conclusion we can reach out is that the United States, because Germany is still Germany, they're still good, but the United States improved a lot. Because if we did this 10 years ago, it would have been completely ridiculous. It would have been 11-0 for Germany. So the United States now, at least when we sit down and we talk about it, it's like, yeah, I think we can have a tough game with Germany. We might be able to beat them in the right day.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's progress for the United States. We have all these players now. That was my goal with this video, these videos I do comparing, is to see how American soccer, or football, as we say it in Europe, how it grew so much out of nowhere. Look at 2017, Thiago. We missed the World Cup.
You missed out on the World Cup, yeah. That was probably the rock bottom of American soccer in the last years. And from there, it's only been 4 years. Not even four full years, 3.5 years. Yeah. And I think over the last years, the United States have been the #1 nation that has enjoyed the biggest growth in soccer or football. I would definitely sign that. I would definitely agree with that. So it's really remarkable. Yeah.
So really Thiago, any final thoughts?
Yeah, that is basically my final thought. At the World Cup 2026, I think it's gonna be an insane tournament. You also think that the atmosphere in your country will be electrifying, right? Yeah. And I hope I can go there to watch some games. And with that team, you can also make it very far. I think we've talked about that in our last video. We made a prediction.
Semi-finals.
Sorry?
Semi-finals.
I think you said semi-finals. I said quarterfinals, right? Yeah. So let's see how that goes. But it's gonna be a big tournament for the US. That's for sure.
All right, look, if you do come here to the World Cup, we got to go to a game together in 2026. I know it's far, but we're going to have to do it.
That is a deal, man. That is a good deal.
All right, guys, I want to thank you, everyone, for watching very much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thiago will be back in the channel at the end of the month. I'm not going to tell you guys for what. It'll be a surprise. And trust me, he's a very reliable source. I put his channel and his Instagram on the description, FootyBase. I put it on the description, as I said previously in the video. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Have a great day.